Hello everyone and welcome back to our reading of I Live in Your Basement, Chapter 24. Let's get started. That night I tried not to fall asleep. I didn't want any more nightmares. I didn't want to see that boy Keith again. And I didn't want to see my sister or anyone else opening their mouth and turning inside out. I kept my eyes wide open and stared at the grey sky out the window, and listened to the sound of the hospital outside my room. But I fell asleep anyway, and slept hard without a single dream. When I woke the next morning, Mom and Grinny were already in my room. Mom was packing my bag. I groaned and pulled myself up on one elbow. "Wake up, Sleeping Beauty," Mom said cheerfully. "Dr. Bailey says you can go home this morning." "Great!" I cried, my voice still hoarse from sleep. My head ached. My hand shot up to the bandage on the side of my head. "Don't touch it," Mom warned. "Your head will hurt for a while, but you're okay." I lowered my legs to the floor. I felt a little dizzy, but I stood up. "Dr. Bailey says you can go back to school as soon as you feel strong enough," Mom said. "You're so lucky," Grinny exclaimed. "You missed all the tests and a really bad news assembly with bagpipe players." "Get dressed," Mom instructed. She didn't have to tell me twice. I practically dove into my clothes. I was so happy to be going home. I wanted to sing and dance. I even hugged Grinny for the first time in my life. "I'm sorry I dreamed you weren't my sister," I told her. "Yuck, don't hug me again," Grinny replied, making a face. "You're scaring me, Marco. You'd better start acting normal." "Don't worry," I told her. "I'll be normal. As soon as we get home, I'll be as normal as a person can be." And I meant it. When we arrived home, I kissed the front door. I was so happy. I'd only been away for 2 days, but it seemed like 2 years. Mom got to work in the kitchen, making a homemade pizza. My favorite food. Mom puts lots of cheese on her pizza, and slices of hot dogs instead of pepperoni. She usually makes a pizza only on weekends, but today was a special day. A day to celebrate. Jeremy came over that afternoon. He apologized for hitting me in the head with the bat. I told him I didn't even remember how it happened. "I'm not sure either," Jeremy replied. "You were standing behind me. I didn't see you there at all. It was my turn at bat. I took a practice swing and BAM! I struggled to remember, but it didn't come back to me." "I'm really sorry, Marco," Jeremy apologized again. "It wasn't your fault," I told him. "Don't blame yourself. Maybe you knocked some sense into him," Grinny replied from the den door. "Get out of here, Grinny," I shouted. "What are you doing out there in the hall? Spying on us?" "Why would I spy on you?" she shot back. "You're too boring." I think Grinny has a crush on Jeremy. She's only showing off when he comes over. "Mom rented some movies. We're going to watch one now," I called to her. "Are you going to watch it with us?" "Boring," she replied, but she plopped down on the arm of the couch anyway. She crossed her arms in front of her chest. "What movie?" I pulled out an Indiana Jones movie I'd seen about 10 times. "This one is cool," I said. "Let's watch it again." Mom usually doesn't let us watch movies in the middle of the afternoon. She says it's bad for our eyes. But today was a special day. Homemade pizza and an Indiana Jones movie. It doesn't get much better than that, right? The three of us sat in the den, eating slice after slice and watching the movie. Mom kept interrupting every few minutes to ask how I felt. Each time I told her, "Fine." But near the end of the movie, my head started to ache. I felt tired and a little shaky. I decided I'd better take a nap. I said goodbye to Jeremy and told him I'd call him later to go over our homework. Then I went up to my room. With a weary sigh, I sat down on the bed and pulled off my sneakers. Then I tugged down the covers. I started to climb into bed, but I suddenly had the strange feeling I was being watched. I turned away from the bed and saw a boy leaning in the doorway. "Jeremy?" I called out. No. As he stepped into the room, I recognized him. Keith. Well, must have been, Raiders of the Lost Ark if it was causing a headache. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll see you next time. See ya!